And now we finally figured out where the heck the entire design budget went. Greetings schizophrenics, I am in your walls. Revenant receives new fresh legendary stance and new fresh F2 button. The aforementioned button gives you a buff, granting increased stats dependent on your current legend, and granting you an on-hit effect dependent on said same legend. In the new stance you gain all stats and a scythe periodically spinning around you, dealing damage to the enemies when you connect a hit. In Malik's stance you gain condition damage and expertise, and apply damaging conditions on hit. In Ventari's stance, you gain healing power and vitality and periodically heal around you on hit. In Shiro's stance, you gain precision and ferocity and apply debilitating conditions on hit. And in Jali's, you gain toughness and concentration, and gain defensive boons on hit. The duration of said buff is derived from affinity, a special resource you get every time you cast a legend skill that costs energy. The buff always ends, and affinity resets to 0 when you swap legends. Skill-wise, the new stance possesses 4 skills that get improved if you have their corresponding legend equipped. The heal skill, Shielding Hands, is a channeled heal that provides 75% all damage reduction to yourself during the channel. Might be PvE numbers, nonetheless that's a lot. If you have Centaur stance equipped, this also heals allies around you, and the damage reduction lasts on you for 2 seconds after skill channeling completes. Its mobility skill, Beguiling Haze, makes you fire a dazing unblockable projectile at your opponent, and if the projectile connects, you shadow step to the target. If you have Assassin stance equipped, instead of a projectile, you fire a ground-targeted AoE that still does the same damage and daze, just doesn't need the target to port you and can hit multiple foes. Its next skill, Gladiator's Defense, breaks stuns, damages and weakens foes around you, while granting yourself resolution and resistance. Its cost increases if you actually break stun with it. Unless you have Dwarf stance equipped, then it's flat 10 no matter what. Its last utility, Hex Eater Vortex, makes you remove conditions of yourself and fire 1 tormenting projectile plus additional 1 for each condition removed for up to 5 conditions, 6 projectiles in total. If you have Demon stance equipped, you always fire maximum number of projectiles. Elite skill doesn't resonate with just one legend, but has a special effect for each and single one of them. By default, it's a ground-targeted AoE that does 1 hit of damage both around you and around the target area, which applies bleeding and grants might on hit. When you have Assassin, it does more damage and immobilizes on hit. When you have Demon equipped, it also spawns an explosion that applies confusion. When you have Centaur equipped, you heal both around you and the AoE you spawned, and remove conditions for each enemy's track. When you have Dwarf, you gain stability, resistance and resolution at the beginning of cast animation, and any enemy hit by both the AoE you placed and the one around you gets stunned. Trait-wise, you get bonus attributes for each legend equipped, which are increased if that legend is currently active. You gain boons for using your F2, different for each legend, might for Shiro, resistance for Malik's, stability for Jali's, protection for Ventari, and fury for Raza. First trait in first column makes you gain affinity for casting weapon skills that cost energy as well. Second makes you cleanse conditions when you cap affinity or when you cast your F2. Third makes your affinity cap at 5 instead of 3. First trait in second column reduces cooldown of your F2 by a flat amount for each point of affinity you have before swapping legends. Second trait in second column makes it so if you have 3 or more affinity, when you swap legends, you get 1 affinity back and receive healing and endurance. Third trait in second column makes it so the stat benefits from your F2 buff are increased. First trait in Grandmaster column makes you deal damage and burn enemies when you disable them, and also makes your F2 daze on initial cast. Second Grandmaster makes your F2 grant corresponding buffs of both your legends equipped. And last but not least trait in Grandmaster Column makes your F2 an upkeep skill like Herald's Facets are, and affinity will not be consumed by it, instead it will grant energy on legend swap. I can almost guarantee that there will be at least 4 different builds of this thing strolling around, and that all of them will be at least viable, because Arena made a genius thing of making entity stance skills do different things with different legends. And each legend has different empowered skill, so they can use that as a balancing factor to buff or nerf each legend's respective effects without affecting other builds. It's really well thought through design piece, and really commendable effort. That unfortunately makes few of the other specs we got look like pure no-effort fetid ass in comparison. I wish this could be standard going forward, but I know it won't, which I guess is my call to spiral back into negativity. Let's go! Anyhow, a big sign of gratitude towards all the generous supporters, continuously considering my dubious quality content worth their money. You're all truly welcome. Crabface out.